Hello, it's Alita. I'm coming to you now after the first clip, which we're going to see in a second. However, I realized that I didn't say something then. This is a vlog all about my Excelsior online nursing studying experience. And so if you guys have no interest in learning about how I study and what my process is, or more specifically the Excelsior experience, Excelsior Nursing School Online, if you have no interest in that, then you're not going to have any interest in these videos. So you can wait until I come out with something else. But I will be with my head in the books for at least the next 4 months. And a lot of people are not in nursing school, they're not in Excelsior, but they are in other distance learning, or they're just a working person, maybe even a working person with a family who's also going to school, so adult learning. And I think it's possible that you might get something out of these videos as well, because it's not easy balancing a full-time job and being a wife and mother and also trying to get your next degree. I don't know if you could hear that, but that's my daughter coughing in the background. She's had the flu, I've had the flu, and my husband has had the flu this week, so life happens. But this is kind of going to be a more in-depth discussion on what it's like to do Excelsior online distance learning, and some of the innuendos involved in that. So again, if you don't like that, if you don't like that subject, then you're going to be bored with these videos. If you're thinking about getting into Excelsior, or if you're a new student of Excelsior and don't really know how things work, then this might be educational for you. The other part of it is for me, that I know that if I have you guys along with me on the journey and that I'm accountable to you guys, I don't want to let you down. I want to also hopefully be an inspiration to people who are in similar situations, or just who are going through a task that seems intimidating. That if I can do this, if I can pass 5 classes in 4 months, then you can do anything. So hopefully it does give that inspiration, and we're just going to jump right into it. I will say I'm not going to be doing heavy editing on these at all, because I really don't want to spend a lot of time editing videos when I should be studying, so I'm going to try to keep it quite simple. So if you can be forgiving of that, that would be great. Hey guys, so I am going to start doing a vlog on my Excelsior experience. So Excelsior is an online school for nursing. I am a licensed practical nurse. I'm working for my registered nursing degree, and it's essentially, there's 2 different ways of passing each class. One is independent study, where you test out of the class. So you do your own studies, and then you take a big scary test and you pass the class once you pass the test. The second way is by taking a course. So with the course, it's an online class. So you have a teacher, you have fellow students, and you have assignments, but it's about 10 times more expensive, literally. So it's about $150 per independent test out of each class, and it's $1,500 for each course, online course. So my fingers are freezing fingers. So I have 3 classes that I'm working on independently testing out of, because it's cheaper, and then there's 2 courses, online courses, that I've signed up for. Those are going. Okay, so my phone died because it's 17 degrees out here. What was I saying? So So I'm taking 3 classes right now for that are independent study that I'm going to be testing out of, and then I have then I'm starting 2 actual courses starting February 27th. So so basically I have I enrolled in, yes, my puppies, oh yes, lady, oh yes, lady. So Excelsior has a rule, a 7-year rule. You enroll in the program and then you have 7 years to finish whatever degree you're planning to get through them, and then at the end of 7 years they kick you out. You can request an extension, but you're under their grace then as far as if they want to give you an extension or not. So I'd rather not rely on their grace. I enrolled in 2011 and then life happened, and I only started really working on the classes in 2016, last year. So I got 4 classes done last year, but I have basically 6 classes left to do this year, and then I have the big bad scary test after that. So and then I'll finish the program, and then I have the big bad scary state test after that. Okay, so I wanted to show you the beautiful outside because it's gorgeous outside right now, but the phone kept dying because it's cold outside, not because my battery was low, because my battery was at 40%. It was just because my phone doesn't like that it's 17 degrees outside. So here we are in front of our catfish. So basically I have put myself up against a time crunch where now I need to really rush. And I read online that some people have done this successfully, where they took like 3 classes and exams, independent testing out exams every month, and like graduated the whole program in 6 months or less. And they might be superheroes, they might be geniuses, or they might just be really, really, really hard workers. I don't know if they had kids, and I don't know if they worked as well. I know that one of them for sure that I read did not work. He was out of the job, and that was part of his incentive for hurrying up and becoming an RN. So but I am put in a similar situation by my own doing, just because I did essentially nothing for 4 years, and then the 5th year last year I did stuff, and then I did 4 classes, and then this year, the 6th year, I have to hurry up and cram everything in. Let me do a drawing. Alright, so this is how it goes. You have 7 years to finish all of your Excelsior classes. And we have, for me, what I did is that for the first 4 years I did nothing, and then the 5th year I took 4 classes, and then this is the 6th year now, and so I need to finish everything by April. This is 2017 of 17, and then for the 7th year is going to be the CPNE. So here's the deal. You have the big bad scary last test of Excelsior is called the CPNE. It stands for clinical something, and that is 3 days of nightmarish. Someone's watching you as you do different nursing stuff in an actual hospital with actual patients. To be able to get that test, to be able to have an appointment for those 3 days, you are on a waiting list, which is anywhere between 7 to 12 months long waiting list. That means that I need to finish all of my classes 12 months before the 7 years runs out. So I need to finish them all by the end of 6 years in the program. And because I have not procrastinated really, because life just happened, but because I'm close to the end of my 7 years, what that means is I need to hurry right now. Between when I finish my classes and taking the CPNE, that is 7 to 12 months wait time right now. After registering, you have to wait that long before you can take the test. So this is the big bad test, 3-day test, clinical, and that's super scary. Everyone writes terrible things about that on the internet. And so because there's this 7 to 12 month wait time between when I finish all my classes and taking the CPNE, and you can't register for the CPNE until you finish all your classes, then that's why there's a rush. So it's not like I really have 2 years to finish my Excelsior experience, because in fact, you basically have 6 years to finish everything, and then you wait for a year and take the last big bad test. The other thing about that is that a lot of people fail the CPNE, and then they have to retake it, and they're on a wait list again for retaking it. But I hear that it's not as long when you're retaking it. Like, it might be 4 months to retake it, but if I fail it, then that's going to take me past 7 years, and I'd have to request an extension, which is not the place I want to go. So that's why now the end of April of this year is when I need to get all my classes done. So I have the CPNE, the big clinical test, and then I have the FCCAs before that, which is like a head-to-toe assessment and other things, and that is online, and apparently it takes 8 weeks is what I have heard. But you have to finish all of your other classes before you can take the FCCA. And then, so let's say all other classes, and say core nursing classes, have to be done before the FCCA. And so for me, that is, well, I won't list them out here, but basically that's 5 classes that I still have to take. And I'm dividing that into 2 time sections. So I have 3 classes before, that had to be finished before February 27th. And then I have 2 classes which are starting on February 27th. Now the difference is that these are courses. These 2 are courses online, which means that I'm going to have teachers and fellow students and homework and midterm and final exam, but it's all online from the comfort of my own home. I'm not going and doing a proctored exam anywhere. These are all independent study and then proctored exam. For these 3 classes. And the price difference is $150 each, independent study proctored exam. And then for the courses online, it's 10 times as much. It's $1,500 per class. So at this point in time, right now it's before February 27th. Today is January 14th. And so I have between January 14th to February 27th to do 3 classes, independent study, and then take the proctored exams. And I'm hoping to have that all finished and closed out before I start my 2 courses online on February 27th. Now, if I didn't take these proctored exams, yes, I could still take them anytime by the end, so end of April. By this end due date that I've set for myself to have all of my other classes done. But I really like to be finishing done with them, so all I have to think about starting this date is my online courses and have those out of the way. So that's a really big challenge. That means there's textbooks, there's flashcards, like my drawings, and then there's driving to Vancouver and taking the test. So each textbook is around 400 pages, and I'll show you some more details about that. And so I have about 1,200 pages worth of textbook to read, and then I have to study and commit to memory the things that I've learned. So it's a really big task, but I'm going to do the best I can because I'm under a time crunch. This is that about a year wait, and so this allows me just enough time. End of April, this is going to take me to the end of June, and then end of year wait, and then my deadline is June of 2018, and that's when I get kicked out, unless I get an extension. So again, that was due to my own waiting to the end, but that's where I'm at, and that's what I have to deal with. The light at the end of the tunnel, the silver lining, is that I will be done with almost all of my nursing school by the end of April, and really almost all of my nursing school by the end of June, and then I can just really study really hard for my for the CPNE, the very last big bad test in Excelsior. So let me explain. There's Excelsior, and then there's the College Network, which is TCN, and then there is Study Group 101, and then there's also CRAM.com. Let's bring this up a little bit. Okay, so we have Excelsior is the nursing school. Okay, and then TCN is independent of Excelsior. They're not the same, but they produce books, textbooks. So yeah, I'm not an artist. Those are textbooks. What they do, the idea is that Excelsior has every class that they want you to take. One class equals a billion books. Let's say 4 or 5 books. Some of them might be study guides. Some of them might be actual textbooks. And the idea is that some people have taken all those books and put them into one book per class. That they pulled out the best information from all these, and that they put the best information into there. Excelsior will tell you that they don't endorse any other company, and that they recommend that you buy the textbooks that they tell you to buy. And that's just, it can be a lot of money, and it can be a lot of pages. You know, you could end up reading 700 pages, 800 pages of stuff with all these compared with 400 pages out of here, and it's way cheaper. And I'll talk about the College Network in a different video because that can get more, there's a lot more to say about the College Network. But that's where I'm getting my textbooks from for the most part because it's all condensed. So, and then there is Study Group 101 and CRAM.com. So CRAM.com is free. It's basically flashcards. And you can download the app and look up the name of the class that you're taking in Excelsior, and then other flashcards that other students have made while studying for these classes are public, that you can download those other students' flashcards and study off of them, and you also can create your own flashcards, make them public, and then other people can use your flashcards to study the classes. So that's a great resource that I have used quite a lot and has helped me pass exams for sure, because so far all that I've done is independent exam passing each class. I have not yet taken an online course with Excelsior. Study Group 101 is, you can download basically study guides. It's an online, it's a website, and it's about something like $10, I think, to download the study guide, and then something like, if you pay $15 instead, then you get to download the study guide, and also they'll send you a DVD, or not DVD, a CD of the study guide, and also audio of kind of like an audio review of the topic that you're studying. And so far, Study Group 101 has had, if you look up the name of the course that you're taking in Excelsior, Study Group 101 has had each of those classes as a study guide that you could buy in audio. So that has been extremely helpful, especially because I spend about 2 hours, well, not about, I spend 2 hours in the car every day going to and from work. So those are the resources that I use for Excelsior. So I figured out how many pages per day I have to read, 144, but of course they're 3 separate books, so it's not like it's page 1 through page 1200, it's page 1 through 400, page 1 through 400, etc. So so now what I'm going to do is use my calculator, because I'm not that great at math in my head, and go through each of my books and put tabs on how much I'm going to read every day and the date that I'm going to read till to finish up to that page.
Numbers. Discover once daily in Bocana. It's the #1%.
Now that I got that done, I get to write in my bullet journal and plan the next many weeks out. So on these little signs right here, I would have put the days of the week, except that I had forgotten I only allowed myself 6 columns, so it didn't make sense because the numbers wouldn't match up. So I'm thinking instead I might put something like the names of the classes, or registered nurse and study, or persevere, some little keywords up there that I think of as I go. And then I have divided up here from down here because this is my reading time to read the textbooks, and then I put on here that I need to download all the study guides, and I put it here because I also order the CDs, so it might take a week or so to get to me. So hopefully if I order those on the 16th, or I could do it tomorrow too, then I will hopefully get them by my first study day. And if I don't, there's still other stuff that I can study, but those are really helpful. And you can download the written portion of the study guide immediately, but the audio takes a while to get to you if you want it in CD form. So, so my task for each of these days is to read 144 pages every day. And then here, starting on the 23rd, I'm going to be studying 3 hours, so there's 3 check boxes for each hour that I study. And then of course I have my yes I can across there. And then exam at the last day. It may not end up actually being the last day, but that's just a, kind of a goal. And then the last thing I'm going to do is put on here also which day of this kind of marathon I'm on. So today, even though it's the 14th, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. so that when I'm checking in with you guys, I can say, okay, it's day 18 of my study marathon. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so now that that's done, all I need to do now is to edit this video and to read a lot in the remaining 6 hours of the day, if you count midnight. So thanks for sticking around, and I will keep you updated as I go along. Bye.